Hey, we need to talk about all of the new music from old bands. Keep going on and on about how it's just a glut of new music. I think the whole Rick Beato thing, where his music is just too easy to make and it's too easy to consume. And if ever anybody has an inkling of ability, they just are gonna do it. And so let's talk about some of the new music from old bands. All mostly legacy bands here. I think the newest one is just within at least 10 years since their last big stuff. People like Foster the Foster the People have new music out. AWOL Nation has new music out. Cage the Elephant has new music out. MGMT is back with new music. I tried to listen to it. I was a huge MGMT fan when they first came out, their first album. And their second album, I forced myself to like it. It's not great, but Vampire Weekend's new stuff is phenomenal. Those guys have went headfirst into the weird and sort of avant-garde territory with their arrangements and their musics and instruments and things, and they put their quirky little pop songs on top of it, and it's working, man. The new Vampire Weekend is killer. Iron and Wine's new record. I tried to listen to it. It's not where I live. It's good, but it's what you expect from Iron and Wine. It's very, very slow and very, very quiet. Except for one song has Fiona Apple on it, and I was real excited about that. I listened to it. It's kind of, they're more poppy, more up-tempo. I won't say poppy, but more up-tempo kind of catchy thing. So that's good. I'll be listening to that song more. I forgot to write down what it was called, but Empire of the Sun have new music out. If you're a fan of them. Milky Chance, that's another one that's I consider more of a modern band, but they haven't had anything out for a few years. Black Keys' new album is decent. It isn't really doing much for me, but it's good. I'm hoping they're okay. They had to cancel their whole upcoming tour for some reason. Kings of Leon are back with new stuff. Kula Shaker. You guys maybe remember them from the 90s. I was a huge fan of theirs because they did, I think they had a hit with Hush by, was it Hush or Kentucky Woman? They did one of them Deep Purple songs. Kentucky Woman is originally a Neil Diamond song, but I know it as a Deep Purple song, but I think they did Hush. And their two albums back in the 90s, I really loved because they did a lot of that spacey, floaty, meditation, sitar heavy tracks with a lot of chanty, Indian based stuff, I think. And hopefully this new album has some of that stuff. The song that I heard is kind of just more straightforward, but it's kind of what it is. It's psychedelic music by way of a 90s band in 2024. I don't know how much traction they're going to get with that, but give it a shot. I think that band deserved a lot more than they got. So Blues Traveler, yeah, It's cheesy. I listened to a few songs. It's cheesy as hell. It's just light beer barbecue blues. They're lucky they got a few hit songs. That's the only reason anybody knows who they are, or they would be playing at. There's a band that's just like them at every corner blues bar in this country. Granted, they all don't have a singer as good as John Popper, and he's a great singer, obviously, and a great harmonica player, if you're into that thing. But this new music is just middle of the road. Lenny Kravitz has new stuff out. I don't really have much to say about that either. Sia has new stuff out, and she's also got quite a few guest spots too. She's on a song with Kylie Minogue, and apparently she's produced the new Paris Hilton album, which, God save us. Billy Idol. Yep, Billy Idol's got new music out. He's still trying to go in this kind of a more electronic, cyberpunk vein. I'm gonna have to listen to a little more of that. I would hope that he would have went a little more heavy. It seems like more what would have been more on track for him to be making a comeback. Sheryl Crow. Another one it's like, oh, I gotta listen to that new Sheryl Crow, see what it sounds like. And my God, it's pretty freaking good. Sheryl Crow she's writing amazing stuff. Her singing's good. She's taking some chances with some of the arrangements on some of the stuff. I'm sure some of it's still middle of the roady, like type of Sheryl Crow type of stuff, but there's been and even with all of the new pop stars being mostly female, there hasn't been a space for somebody that's a little more down to earth and Sheryl Crow-ish. So let her come back and do it herself. Hopefully it picks up a little bit. Def Leppard, I listened to their new song, and it's pretty good. It's kind of heavy. Not heavy, but it's got crunchy guitars, and it's poppy with crunchy guitars. Good Def Leppard music. Kind of not quite as overproduced as their most popular stuff, but not quite as when they pivoted in the 90s, when all those 80s bands panicked about what to do because of grunge and all of that stuff. Like some bands kind of went too far in that direction. I think Def Leppard kind of suffered for that, so they're kind of back into where they're kind of just owning who they are, and I think they're doing another stadium tour. They're supposed to be doing another stadium tour this year. We'll see. Along those same veins, I listened to a few songs off the new Bon Jovi album, and he still writes those anthemic, like, whoa, whoa, whoa songs. I feel like Bon Jovi I could almost say, invented. It's a bold statement, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think Bon Jovi invented that millennial whoop way back in the 80s. He's the one that did all of those whoa, whoa, whoa kind of choruses and like lighter waving songs, and there's a few of those on here. His vocals, he's doing something real weird with the way he's singing, so I don't know, I won't be able to listen to much of it for very long, because he had some issues with singing live a couple of years ago, and I thought it was strange that he put out a new album. So when you're recording, you can do it's your best. It's a capture of what's your best. If you're not good on one day, we'll do it another day. And I feel like a lot of this, he's just singing. I can't even describe it. You have to go listen to it. It's can't can't even describe it. He's just singing weird, especially for him, for as good of a singer as he was. And the last one I want to mention is the Melvins. I think it's amazing that the Melvins are still around and still pumping out new music. And yeah, that's all the new stuff by old bands. I want to thank anybody that's sat through all these videos to the end. I really, really appreciate it. It helps helps the algorithm really push my stuff out there to more people. When you stick with it, I know these videos are kind of more podcast style. I'm just kind of riffing and not doing any editing or not doing any changes on the camera or anything, and it's real unusual for anybody to have the patience to sit through that stuff nowadays. And when I wait a couple weeks to do in between these videos, it's this talking to a camera thing is really a perishable skill, and it goes away quick. So I always have to do a couple like this, real quick ones, to just get myself back acclimated to talking to the camera. So if you're hearing this, leave me a comment down below and tell me what you want me to make some videos about, and we'll have a conversation, and I'll get back to you in the next one.